What's going on, YouTube? My name is ginj-tcg or Chris, and today I'm back revisiting Cynthia's Garchomp EX. This attacker has been one of my favorite rogue decks to play since the Destined Rivals format, and I think that the one addition of Hilda has made this deck so much better in the current format. With Cynthia's Garchomp, if you're unfamiliar with it, you have Corkscrew Dive where you do 100 damage and you draw up to 6 cards in your hand. At 330 HP and no abilities, it's pretty hard to wall this Pokemon, get consistent damage, get consistent draw power off the attack, and you could swing for 260 damage and discard it all energy attached to this Pokemon. So you can take big one-hit KOs on Pokemon like Goldengo EX, or when you pair in the Cynthia's Roserade, you could do 30 more damage with each Roserade, getting yourself up to 320 damage, taking out Dragapult EXs, which is super nice. So now you can one-shot most things in the format, tag in a little Munkidori damage, and boom, you're taking down Charizard EXs and anything bigger than a Dragapult. Now, one of the nicest things about Cynthia's Garchomp has always been the power weight, where the Cynthia's Pokemon it's attached to gets 70 more HP. So now your Garchomp might be swinging for a little less damage than some of your favorite decks, but it also has more HP than pretty much all of them, because you're sitting at 400, making it very, very hard for any deck outside of Goldengo or Raging Bolt to KO, and even then, they need to give an arm and a leg to pull it off. So pulling it off multiple times, since we play 4 of those, makes it very, very challenging for your opponent. Now, when I mentioned Hilda making this deck so amazing, it's because you could search for an evolution Pokemon and an energy card. So if you could evolve into Gabite, you could use Champion's Call to search for any Cynthia's Pokemon, and then you could also take Neo Upper Energy, which I think is a very new ace spec in this deck with the addition of Hilda, because now you could just go Hilda for like Garchomp EX or Gabite to get a Garchomp on another Gabite, and Neo Upper, and then boom, you're swinging 260 very, very early, which could set up some big KOs on maybe some support Pokemon or Pokemon that are setting up with enough energy and whatnot while your opponent's board state is developing. And then in the mid to late game, you could just use your Crispins to get out Fighting and Dark Energies, maybe draw into some Luminous Energies. You can still pull off Draconic Buster, but it's a little bit easier to keep that heavy pace with the damage in the late game, just because you have the early game advantage of using Neo Upper. Now, I know one of the biggest things I was like worried about when I switched to this deck was, you know, like I'm playing my ace spec just to pretty much discard it immediately after using it. I feel like Neo Upper is one of those ace specs you want to get continuous value out of, and you want to make sure that you can use maybe once or 2 times, because that's how we're used to seeing it in decks like Dragapult Charizard, or pure Dragapult used to play Neo Upper, and I think it was kind of the same thing then. You want to get multiple turns out of it. I think when you're playing a deck like Cynthia's Garchomp, you have so much pivot potential because it's a free retreater, so you can just pivot out into another Garchomp and then just keep swinging with another one that's set up, even if it is just a Corkscrew Drive from the one basic Fighting Energy. I think this deck honestly is fine with the Neo Upper being discarded quickly. I think that's something I came to actually enjoy, because now I can pivot out of this Garchomp since it would take damage anyways, maybe go in with the Spiritomb and use Raging Curse, which you do 10 damage times each damage counter on all of your benched Pokemon. So if you have, like, I don't know, 250 damage on your benched Garchomp, which you just use Neo Upper to take a KO with, now you swing 250 with Spiritomb for 1 energy. So I think, like, you know, the discarding of Neo Upper isn't the end of the world. I think it's something this deck could work around. Now, we're playing a very, very heavy Iono variant of the deck. I think Iono gives some good draw, great disruption. You're playing Corkscrew Drive, so I think it works very well in tandem with that in the late game, because you could Iono yourself down to 2, and then Corkscrew Drive back up to 6. So we're playing heavy Iono. We are playing heavy Boss to make sure we're taking Gust KOs, and then we're playing 2 Arven, 2 Hilda, 2 Crispin to make sure that we're getting the TM Evos, the Buddy-Buddy Poffins, the Energy Acceleration. We're using Hilda to get out those Gabites and stuff like that. And we got 1 copy of Artazon to help us with the basic Pokemon search. Overall, I think this is a super fun Cynthia's Garchomp list, and if you're used to playing it with like Secret Box or different cards like that, which I was definitely used to, I think now with the new set, I think the Hilda and Neo Upper combo is definitely the way to go on the deck. So yeah, before we hop into today's video, just 2 announcements. 1, go check out the Draw Pass TCG channel, the home of the competitive team that I am a part of. It's a ton of fun. We're having a great series go out as of yesterday. By the time of this video going live, the next episode of the Battle VIPs podcast is also live too, so make sure you go check out that podcast on the Draw Pass TCG YouTube channel or the Battle VIPs podcast Spotify channel. Make sure you go give it a listen, play it in the background. We're talking about what decks we think will be the top dogs at Worlds, what deck we think will win Worlds, as well as what goes into Avery and I's minds when we're selecting our own deck for different tournaments, because we are both going to be making a big Worlds push this year. So we're talking about some of that mindset that goes in on like how do we actually like select a deck, you know, what is important, what's important to consider, what are the biggest factors that play, what are the things we're worried about, what stresses us out the most, you know, stuff like that. Make sure you go check out the Battle VIPs podcast. The other update, we got that TCG Player affiliate link, so if you're going to TCG Player to order any deck singles or deck accessories, make sure you hop on over to TCG Player via my link in the description down below. below. Clicking on my link, ordering stuff within 48 hours supports the channel in a massive way. So thank you so much to everyone who's been doing that. Now with all of that being covered, let's hop into today's video and see how well the Hilda Neo Upper Cynthia's Garchomp combo can do. Welcome to match number 1. We open up with a solid hand, going first as well, which is always pretty cool. I think here we just want to take a Gible and a Roserade. I've got a good hand. I could go into Gabite. I've got a little Dark Energy, which I could discard next turn. I don't feel the need to Vessel yet. We got a pretty good hand. Don't want to feed my opponent the Artazon because I don't know what they got cooking up. I kind of want to wait to see if they play their own Artazon, if they play a different stadium that I need to discard, and then play my own, you know, set up my bench a little bit more. I don't gain anything out of getting a Gible here. They let Blood Moon or Saluna, so I don't know if I'm worried about a Donk KO yet, but, I mean, I've got 2 Gibles out, so I feel pretty confident I could do a little bit of work, and my opponent's going to play their own Arven. And now we'll get a very, very good idea of what they got running here. Right, because they're going to take a Nest Ball Bravery Charm. So my initial thought is like Joltik Box, Raging Pole, you know, some sort of basic deck off the jump. If they take Miraidon here, I'm screaming Joltik Box, right? They got the Bravery Charm. They could probably pull off a Latias, get the Retreat, get the Jolting Charge. We're going to be good to go. It's going to be a bit of a fun matchup. I mean, we are swinging for weakness, so we could KO very easily with Garchomp's top attack constantly. Maybe we just need to save Neo Upper for the late game to take down Blood Moon or Saluna or something like that. We got way too much HP for Pikachu EX to deal with. And yeah, there's the Latias. Okay, so I'm definitely leaning towards Joltik Box. Though the one thing about Pikachu that's a little difficult is the ability, but with our own Munkidori, them ideally not swinging for KO at any one point on any one card. You know, we should be able to get through the Pikachu pretty nicely using Adrenaline Brain. We just got to develop our board pretty cool. Pretty slowly, take our time. They're going to Jolting Charge this turn, right? So next turn, how do we jump in? We jump in with Artazon for sure. I don't mind getting out another Roselia. I want to make sure we're swinging 130 damage constantly with Garchomp's top attack, because then for weakness, Corkscrew Drive will be KOing everything. So I actually do like the double Roselia here. It doesn't give them an optimal, like, Iron Hands boss target. Actually, you know what? I'm surprised. Did they have Joltik in hand, or did they Nest Ball for it? I'm surprised they didn't Nest Ball for Miraidon and then go Joltik plus another Pokemon, but this is fine. I mean, maybe they're taking out Iron Hands Pikachu. No, Iron Hands Dynamo. Okay, all right, respect the hustle. I mean, we'll deal with Pikachu later then. You got the free retreat. I'm sure you got an energy card in hand. Yep. And now we'll see the Joltik Charge. We'll see the full set up on the Iron Hand. So now I just need a bunch of Cynthia's power weights. Having Iono as the supporter return in this situation really does suck. I do not want to give my opponent an entire new 60, and I think I probably could avoid that, funny enough. I could also definitely take a KO on the Joltik with Gabite's attack, since it is weak to fighting. I mean, I could honestly just do it with a Gible as well. But I think it's pretty important to go evolve into Gabite here. I don't mind playing the Artazon down to get myself another Stadium, what do you call it? Not Stadium, another Pokemon on my bench. I think the best play for us would always be to take, I mean, we did prize another Roselia, so that's kind of chalked. I think we just take the Gabite, the Gible, excuse me, and just rock with that. I could Neo, rip Iono next turn. I think for now we just champion call a Gabite, just a champion call again, and we just keep the constant stream of Pokemon rolling. And this is one of the most satisfying things about Gabite's abilities. You're just spamming Gabite abilities, right? So I could take the Roserade just to protect it. We are at 130 HP. I don't know why I thought it was 120, so it would be pretty safe anyways from the KO. And then I think in this situation I actually do want to get a Fighting Energy attached, so I will get rid of the Dark Energy, take 2 Fighting Energies out of the deck. I mean, attaching one to active doesn't feel bad. My opponent is just going to go Ampy very much on active for KO. We would be taking the first prize, but it wouldn't be the first 2 prize knockout. They would be taking the first 2 prize knockout, so we would just need some bulk after that. I think that's probably our best play, right? I'm just worried if they gust up Roserade to attack it, leave it in the active, go for a little stall play. That would be a bit annoying. I don't think I'm worried about that too much yet, though. I think for now, we're just going to swing 140. I could do that on a different Pokemon. Like, if I did 140 to Iron Hands, I guess would it even change much? We're swinging 130, 260. Actually, you know what, it might, because they do have the Charm on it. And we only got 1 Roserade down, so we'd be swinging 260 with, what do you call it? Corkscrew Drive. So maybe swinging 140 here is the play. And now, even if I somehow cannot pull off Garchomp next turn, I can Dragon Slice for another 140, take the KO. They really shouldn't have a way to heal. I doubt they have much to do in their hand. Of course, they have a Crispin. I take it back. That just makes the most sense for my opponent's deck, which is fine still. You know, we can still work through this. They're going to ampy very much my active. They're playing Crispin, so unless the last card in their hand is Prime Catcher, they're going to be going ampy very much on my active, which means I could just KO with Garchomp next turn. And I think from there, we're pretty much home free on the matchup. They're taking the first 2 prize cards, but we're going to rip an Iono here for sure, even if I am giving them a 1 card bigger hand, just to make sure that I could play the game even better. So we'll go in with Cynthia's Gabite here, because we're definitely going to evolve into Garchomp. I can take Gabite and then take another, what do you call it? And we'll definitely go Munkidori here. Actually, I like Munkidori a lot. They got boss, right? They can take out any choice of basics we'll have on the bench off the Artazon. I'm going to Gabite for Gabite, and then I'm going to use the benched Gabite for Garchomp EX, and then I will rip the Iono. I just want to guarantee that I have an attacking Pokemon that could KO and definitely tank a hit. So I like this setup, I think, the best. And then I could Rod here. Honestly, doesn't feel awful. Just bring back the whole line. Maybe a Dark Energy. Not sure. Actually, you know what? That doesn't feel too bad at all. I might save it for the Munkidori, just because if this guy gets KO'd, that's going to be our big way to deal with Pikachu, which feels pretty important in this matchup. I do have a couple more Fighting Energy in the deck, so maybe I just go Gible, Gabite, Dark. I don't know. I'll hold it for now. I'm not worried. We got a couple Arven. If I need to dig out a Rod, I'll dig out a Rod at some other point. For now, just give me a new 6. Give me some sort of huge setup that I love to see. The power weight is nuts. I don't even feel the need to attach the power weight to my active. I think the best play for us is legitimately attach the power weight to this Gabite, take it out of amp range for my opponent's next turn. They're not touching 330. They probably have to go in with Jolting Charge. So we can just Corkscrew Drive for 260, and this is why I bossed up that Iron Hands. It wasn't even that I needed the full 140. I just needed 20 damage to get up to a charm amount of damage. And we get a basic Fighting Energy. This is nuts. Okay. So now I've pretty much got free reign on my opponent's next turn on what I got to do here. And a Town Store. Oh, this feels great. Okay. Because then I could use Artazon, get another Gible down, use Town Store, get another Cynthia's power weight down, and then I could boss up any Pokemon that seems... Sorry for the cut. My allergies were killing me, and I decided, like, just having a small sneezing attack right there. My opponent got into Galvantula, and Galvantula's a little scary, right? They do, 130 damage times weakness, because we are weak to grass Pokemon, but we don't have an ability, so Compound Eyes does not take the full KO on Garchomp EX. If we had an ability like Charizard, we'd be a whole lot more scared. But for now, even if they get the electric energy down, we're chilling, and they don't. They get the grass energy down. They're swinging for 100 damage, which means that I could immediately Munkidori damage off my active onto the Pikachu, gust it up, take the KO there. I'm not scared of my opponent swinging for 100. Yeah, I mean, we're good to go here, and they just concede. So if we wanted to outline that next turn, I think all we had to do was attach the Dark Energy to Munkidori, Adrenabrain some damage from our Garchomp on a Pikachu, use our Gabite ability to get another Gible. Maybe I might have gone Spiritomb there, and we had the boss's orders in hand on the Pikachu, and the Town Store to get our damaged Cynthia's Garchomp a power weight as well, just in case they did get the electric energy the following turn. So we would have taken another 2 prize cards while making our board, again, impossible for our opponents to do anything too. So pretty easy match number 1. Definitely a great matchup for the deck. Let's hop into matchup number 2 and see what we can cook up. Welcome to matchup number 2. We are opening up with 2 mulligans, which is a little annoying, but you know what is cool. We're going second. Okay, so that means I definitely don't mind the Gible here. We actually do have TM Evo in hand. I don't have a great bench though. I don't have an energy or Buddy-Buddy Poffin, so I can't take... There's not a great way that I can potentially pull off TM Evo. Might be taking this one a little bit slower as well, but at least we'll have a very established bench after these 2 mulligans. Could have been perfect, and it still could be. A top deck could change everything. We're up against Houndour. Oh man, we've entered the back rooms, and I'm kind of loving it. I cannot wait to see what Houndour my opponent is cooking up with. And Team Rocket's Ekans, ooh, that could actually be pretty annoying if they stop us from evolving, right? I think we could still work around it. We do have the TM Evo, so if we need to take it a little bit slower, go in with TM Evo at any point this game. We definitely have that open to us. But it'll be a fun little brain teaser on how we make this work. Perfect top deck to pull off a TM Evo. Make sure we can keep evolving. So we'll go Buddy-Buddy Poffin. We do have a TM Evo. I'm going to take another just... I'm going to take another because if they get Team Rocket's whatever you call it, Arbok out. We're not going to be able to evolve from hand, so I am going to want to double TM Evo. And then here I'm going to take double Gible as well. We'll smack down the Roserade. I do have a Gabite in hand, which is pretty nice. And then we could just rip the TM Evo. I think the most important thing for us, since it seems to be a lower HP deck and they have a fighting weakness, is we just want to take the 2 Gabites. Just establish those guys nice and early. If I need to go TM Evo next turn as well, I could take the Roserade and a Garchomp EX, and I should be good to roll from there. Just kind of steamroll their Ekans in play. So we could definitely figure this matchup out. We just need a Fighting Energy. A Fighting Energy, we're good to go. Again, I just need to maybe TM Evo one more time, depending on that Arbok coming down. If they're staying with Houndour in the active, will be golden. I could just rip my 3 Gabite abilities. I could take my full board of evolution Pokemon like that and just not have much to worry about, which always makes me feel a little bit better, a little bit safer going into the rest of the match. But I'm curious to see what my opponent's got. They got Secret Box turn 2. Okay, yeah, so they're going to have a perfect turn 2 if I could imagine. They get rid of Team Rocket's energy, dude. The other 3 cards in their hand must be bangers. Like, there's no way that is what's discarded here. That's got to be an insane backup to the hand. Now, they can't take Ariana or something like that. A good Team Rocket supporter would be awesome, but Fez is not a Team Rocket's Pokemon. Actually, and that isn't even Team Rocket's Houndour, which I don't know why. I feel like there is a Team Rocket's Houndour. Maybe I'm tripping. I don't know. And they took a pretty solid lineup, right? What do they get? Artazon, Hilda, Air Balloon, Night Stretcher. Okay. And they play the Artazon down, so they could take more basics. Probably another Ekans. Okay. That's fine. No, they take Nimble. I have no idea what's going on. I mean, the low kicks is definitely a dark attacker, so it's definitely a little stage 1 dark box. They got the Houndoom EX. Yeah, no, it's a backrooms type of matchup for sure, which, I mean, you never hate to see. Always a bit of fun. What do you got? Evil Claw. If it's a basic, I can't attack during my next turn. Wait, that's actually not a bad attack. Hold up. Why are we sleeping on Houndoom? 220. That's the bottom attack. If the bottom attack did like 40 more damage, dude, 20 more damage even, that actually would be like super viable. Kind of a fun attacker. But they did get the Evil Claw. They did take the KO. They didn't go in with the Arbok. So depending on what I draw here, I should be good to go. And even if I gotta soak some damage, I mean, the Spiritomb we're gonna go in with is gonna become a nightmare for my opponent to work around. And we get the Hilda. Okay. Now, Hilda isn't bad, right? But I don't know if I want to Neo Upper here. I could take Neo Upper and just use the top attack. Like, there's nothing wrong with that at all. I don't think I mind getting the Gible down, right? And then I could use my double Champion Skull. And I think what we want to take is a Roserade for sure. Want to make sure we're swinging for some solid damage. Then I want to use this Champion's Call to get out a Garchomp EX. And let me check, is my Neo Upper even in the deck? It is. Okay. That's fine. So we could go Garchomp here. And then I think the best play for us, we could go Boss, but we don't have any energy in play, so I think I actually just want to go Neo Upper. And, I mean, I could just take Garchomp for next turn. It would clog up my hand a little bit, but I definitely don't need TM Evo at this point. I could play Power Weight, so I don't mind holding on to it. Just one less Pokemon for my Gabites to Champion Search. We'll evolve, get the Neo Upper. We'll smack down the TM Evo. I think we're pretty solid to rock without it. And you know what? I could even just evolve now. But I think I do hold on to it. I don't think that's a problem. And then we can swing 130. 290 actually does KO, which is funny. But then we're still in a rough spot. They just have no energy set up. So you know what? Whatever, let's Draconic Buster for 290. Take the KO. 2 prize cards, definitely be Vessel. I don't even know why we worry, right? We take the KO here. We take the first 2. And we got Boss's Orders in hand. We got the Fighting Energy at a prize card number 5. Boom, Iono, whatever, same thing. This is not the same thing. I am desperately going to need an energy next turn. Sorry, my bunny is chewing something. I was like, are you chewing the wall? No, she's just chewing, I don't know. We've got like the little pieces of cardboard out for her, just to eat off the floor, because bunnies and cardboard are apparently best friends. So she is gnawing through that right now. Anyways, my opponent is ripping the Artazon. They do fail the Artazon, so they probably have a ton of basic Pokemon in their hand, or Buddy-Buddy Poffin, or they prize to like 5 Pokemon from here. And yeah, I mean, they'll get another Houndour down. They got the low kicks. What does low kicks do? Why am I sleeping on you? 40 damage for each damage counter on your opponent's active Pokemon. That's actually solid as well. For 2 energy, that was no. If that was a 1 energy attack, that'd be nasty to work around. And they got the Janines. Okay, they didn't set it up on the active though. It seems they are just gonna go for bounce if I had to take a guess, and just sack a Pokemon from here, right? Yeah. Okay, did they even use Fez that turn? They did, right? Yeah, they did. Okay. Alright, cool. So if I can get an energy off the top deck, we do have Boss's Orders on Fez, take another 2 prize cards. They'll sack the Ekans, which is pretty smart. At this point, we are just going to run through with the Evolution. Why do I even question if I'll top deck? What do you call it? An energy. Of course we're going to top deck an energy. We're going to take a... I already got a Garchomp, actually. So you know what? Let me take another Spiritomb. Right? And then we could evolve into this guy. I really don't need to Champion's Call. I think at this point we just Artazon for Munkidori. Just get this guy established. We don't have room for another Roserade, and we also prized a Roselia, so that's not going to do anything. I could Champion's Call right now just for Garchomp, so it's not in the deck, I guess. I kind of need it for next turn, so it's not the biggest end of the world, even though I'm drawing some cards. We'll just boss up Fez, which is weak to fighting Pokemon, swing 260, take the KO. Now we're up 4 prize cards. My opponent's taking 1, but they seem to be having a rough time getting some damage counters on my active, doing some big damage with anything more than low kicks. And even if they do the low kicks, we're still fine. I mean, we got Munkidori, there's the Roselia, and a Power Weight in hand for next turn, so I think we're pretty established. Punishing Kick is not going to swing for too much. They're swinging for, we get 120, 130 damage, so we'd be at 160, which is a very easy retreat into Spiritomb KO, retreat into another Garchomp KO, even leave my active there. Unless another Nimble goes down, then that next low kicks would swing for an insane attack. But I think at the moment, this is pretty much fine. Now the bunny's just, oh no, she ran at my feet and then she ran away. Okay, I'm like, dude, she's going nuts right now. And there's another Nimble. All right, so now I need to get my Garchomp out of the active when they swing. And they got Giovanni's Charisma to put an energy back into my hand that actually surprisingly helps me a ton. Because now it makes it easier to pivot out of one Garchomp to the other, and I get to maintain my energy to attack. So they could Night Stretcher for who? For what? What do we need here? You got the Fez. Okay. Well, if I top deck Boss, we're going to wrap up that match number 2 with pretty much no worry at all. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. If not, it's not the end of the world. We got 2 more KOs. My opponent really needs 3. Okay, sorry. Another sneezing fit. We are currently dying. We are not feeling too great. I did get the Dark Energy top deck, which does feel pretty good. I don't think it's going to help me here. I do just kind of want to pivot out of my active Pokemon. I don't need some Munkidori this turn. I just need to attack, take out their active, stop the setup, and I'll rip an Iono. I mean, I don't mind going down to 2 cards. I don't need my hand. I want to find another Boss's Orders just in case. Luminous Energy will do it. That'll give me the energy needed to swing with Draconic Buster, take a KO on anything the next turn, and feel pretty comfortable. My opponent's got a new hand, and I'm also going to draw back up to 6, so I mean, I get the Boss's Orders there too. So now I've got Luminous Energy Boss, which should just guarantee me game on any Pokemon my opponent throws up. Of course, we do have to see. Maybe we've got some secret tech that absolutely washes Garchomp. I still don't know how or what that would be, but I mean, my gosh, am I curious to see what it is. I guess at this point too, if my opponent doesn't KO Garchomp and they just swing into it, especially if they go like Hound's Fang, there is a world where you just attach to Spiritomb, retreat, and take the KO that way. Draconic Buster here, we do know, because I forgot before, it does swing to 90. So unless they get a huge tool added to Houndoom, which couldn't even be Luxurious or Hero's Gate because they did play the Secret Box, not something we're worried about. They're going to put the energy back in our hand. Okay, wait. You know what? That's a respectable play, because Garchomp is all manual attachments. I don't got Crispin, so there's no way I could. They have double Fez. Whoa, wait. You can't use 2 Fez, can you? No, you can't. Okay, I was like, hold up. I was like, wait, what's going on? My opponent is just going to swing 220 into the active. So I could, if I topped at Crispin, I was going to say I could pull off a Crispin for the KO, but I think it's just a little bit easier for us to attach the Spiritomb, use our free retreat pivot. We're swinging for 410 damage and just blowing up the active Houndoom, taking our last prize card, wrapping up match number 2 pretty comfortably. Let's hop into match number 3 and see if we can guarantee the perfect record with Cynthia's Garchomp. Welcome to match number 3. This might be the world's most perfect starting hand. I mean, we got TM Evo off the Arven, we got Buddy-Buddy Poffin, we got Earthen Vessel. We're up against Eevee Box. We're dogging Eevee Box in this one. We got Neo Upper in the starting hand, a Gabite to help us get rolling. We could get 4 Gibles out, not counting discounting the option to go for a double Buddy-Buddy Poffin TM Evo play, which I think is what I'm going to do. I mean, there's established boards, there's good hands, and there's what I'm staring at. I mean, match number 3, you stuck around to this long. I'm happy this is the starting hand you get to see. I've never seen... I don't know if I could have asked for better. My opponent also seems to have the nuts, which is good. When I get a good setup like this, yo, I want my opponent to have a good hand. I want to have some fun on this matchup. I want to see my opponent's deck also push to its limit. And I think Flareon, I mean, it's definitely a little more aggressive in the early game, unless we could pull off the Neo Upper, which we talked about. But I think it's something we could totally manage. It's something we could work around. They got Leafeon. Never mind. There's going to be a nightmare. Just like that. All my confidence absolutely ripped from me. I actually have no idea how I'm supposed to deal with this thing at all, especially when you just go Crispin. I'm definitely going to need a Neo Upper the turn 2, so I cannot attach turn 1 like at all. Yeah, okay, this is going to be bad. Verdant Storm, if I'm remembering correctly, attached to your opponent's Pokemon. So that's good, actually. We could dodge Verdant Storm pretty comfortably because we really don't have many energy in play at one time. For now, let's go Buddy-Buddy Poffin. Definitely going to need... We prized a Roselia literally every single game. This is nuts. It's fine, though. It's all right. And I prized a Gabite. Well, that's annoying. Okay. This is fine. We still take Neo Upper. And I think I take Buddy-Buddy Poffin, but at this point it's really just to discard it. I have to accept my opponent. I have to discard something for Vessel, because I'm not playing Neo Upper here, and I think Buddy-Buddy Poffin is that. Since if I had a Gible and a Roselia, honestly I was about to get rid of Rod. But I think at this point, just give me the 2 fighting, dude. I don't really need Dark yet. Neo Upper is going to be my next attachment. I think here, our best play is attach to Gible, rip the TM Evo. If they somehow don't take a KO on my active, that would be sweet. I think the best thing for us is to take out 2 more Gabites, just because we could use one of them to search for Roserade, and then we could use the other to search for Garchomp, attach Neo Upper, blow up Leafeon, and hopefully never have to worry about that Pokemon again. Times like this, I wish Lost City was still in the format, just so I can guarantee myself a little bit more safety, but it's no big deal. They got the knockdown, so they got Crispin immediately. Now, here's where things could get a little scary. If my opponent takes... I mean, they can't go boss Crispin. If they play Prime Catcher, which I doubt, I feel like EV Box is generally a... what do you call it? Sparkling Crystal build, if I'm not mistaken. Just so they could take off some of the bottom tack, like, flexibility. But, of course, they play a lot of energy. They could definitely make it work. I wouldn't be shocked if... Yeah, I mean, maybe with Flareon. There it is. The Sparkling Crystal. Buddy-Buddy Poffin? Dog, don't tell me they just got Crispin in hand like that. We were doomed from the start. I said I hope my opponent has the nuts. I really wasn't expecting it to be like this, but here we are. I guess you get what you wish for, right? And yep, there's the Crispin. They also had the nuts, and they also had the nuts specifically for Garchomp EX, since the Leafeon is their active Pokemon. Now, Verdant Storm wouldn't KO my active immediately, but, you know, I am weak to grass. So, because of the weakness, I am going to be taking double damage, jumping up to 120. They got the Crystal, so they could use Verdant Storm. They could attach the Fire Energy to the active. However, I'm just going to blow it up next turn, so I don't think they need to, and they choose not to here. I'm surprised they didn't attach it to their other EV, just to get an attachment ahead. But it's not the end of the world. This is the situation we kind of expected ourselves to be in. Again, we're taking the first 2 prize KO, which is very, very important in this matchup. We just have to kind of lock Leafeon from here on out. So we'll go Champion's Call. We'll take the Roserade to make sure that Neo Upper gets up to 290 to KO my opponent's active. And then I will also take the, what do you call it? Cynthia's Garchomp off this guy. And then we can smack this here, smack the Neo Upper down. I'm not going to be using Corkscrew Drive until next turn, so my board is a little small. I'm not looking for... I'm imagining a much grander board turn 2, but Leafeon had other words in the EV box. And we get a Gible Night Stretcher, actually, that'll help a ton. The Gible we could play down, we'll eventually get another Gabite down. If they could pull off a Night Stretcher Crispin play this turn. I mean, Sparkling Crystal's down too. We have no energy in play. They couldn't even Mossagate us for KO, right? I don't think they could pull that off, unless they find a way to get a 3rd energy attached. They could go Verdant Storm, but that doesn't really save them literally at all. They're just going to go Colorful Friends. Oh, big dog. we're gonna shut that down pretty quick. Unless you got another Leafeon in your 60. If you got another Leafeon in your 60, I'll stop talking. See, you got the better deck, boss. But no, you got Flareon, Pheasantipity. All right, that buys me a little bit of time. Get another prize card ahead. Big Corkscrew Drive. I think I do use the Night Stretcher here. That just feels the most correct for me. A Champion's Call. Actually, no, because now my bench is like super full. I could take Spiritomb. Maybe I do just take another Garchomp. I mean, I do have a Gabite in hand. So maybe I just take the Garchomps, then out of the deck, right? I could always take Spiritomb next turn. I like having 2 attacking Pokemon here. Definitely attach this to active. Don't need TM Evo in hand. Rod is not doing anything for me. Night Stretcher not really helping me a ton either. I think we just hold those. We just swing Corkscrew Drive to 60. Draw 2 cards. See if those 2 cards can buy us something a little bit more playable. Maybe another Arven. Draw to Cynthia's Power Weight. Iono feels great here. Knock my opponent's hand a little bit down to size. I think 330 is still a comfortable amount of HP. Boss is pretty cool. Iona's probably our best friend next turn, though, especially if my opponent could somehow take a KO. If they do, we go Night Stretcher for energy, we rod back a bunch of Pokemon, and then I rip the Iono for sure. And they got the Flareon, and I don't think they could pull off a Carnelian. Even if they do, it's not a KO's worth of damage. So I don't know if I'm sweating it too much. They do have the Burning Charge if they got Crispin in hand. If they don't, and they just have a manual attach, yo, we better just bully Fez. What? We better just... evolve and take it. No, they got boss. On who? On Roserade. Okay. You know what, though? If you're passing here and you're just trying to stall me, I'm not even joking. I actually do like the boss play on Fez. If you cannot pull off Burning Charge. You played your supporter, so Crispin can't go live. You can't take out another energy from the deck. I think we just abuse the Fez and set up the board even more. That's exactly what we're doing. We're putting my opponent in a tough spot. And the Cynthia's Power Weight top deck Goodnight Streaks. It's over for you. Let's attach this here. Now I am in a Champion's Call. I am gonna take out especially because we got the Cynthia's Power Weight. We're gonna take out the Spiritomb. Just tell my opponent, hey, you have to worry about this. This is gonna be a problem for you. We are swinging 100 damage. Oh, maybe I didn't think this through because they took. Oh no, Roserade's still on the bench. We're swinging 130. I was like, wait, where'd my Roserade go? Is it my active? It's on my bench, right over my head, dude. I am on some type of brain power this morning. We're feeling good. We are going to Corkscrew Drive to 60. And now with the Night Stretcher for 1 Fighting Energy out of my discard pile. Actually, never mind. We get the Luminous Energy there. If my opponent does not KO my active, I've got KO on anything on board. So they pretty much have to get out a Moss Agate Leafeon this turn. If not, like I said, the top attack Verdant Storm doesn't swing for much. We really don't have many energy in play. They would do 120 damage to us. They need something big. They need something big, something tanky this turn to take a shot. They could pull off the Crispin, the Carnelian. That is just another free retreat into Spiritomb as another option. So like this is what I mean. You get to this point in the game, like you make it to the end game with Cynthia's Garchomp, it's I feel like near unbeatable unless you're up against Raging Bull or Golden Go where they can actually swing 400. But that is just such a ridiculous number for like 90% of decks to even dream of, where like in one turn, where you don't have to worry too bad. The other nice thing about Garchomp is it's a fighting type attacker that's not weak to Psychic, so your Gardevoir matchup is a little bit better because, you know, you don't just get blown up by weakness. The Spiritomb does not swing for weakness, so before someone's like, oh yeah, you just use Cynthia's Spiritomb instead Gardevoir. No, that doesn't work perfectly because you don't swing for weakness. You need to actually take the 310 damage to do it, which is definitely possible. You got the bulk to do it. It's just annoying more than anything else. And yeah, there's the Leafeon there, but I don't think you could just swap out Flareon for Leafeon here, unless I'm totally missing a card. Is there like an Ogre's Mask for Eevee EXs, Eeveelutions? Because that would be insane. If they get like the grass, the water, wait. Don't do this to me. You cannot do that to me. Do you have an Eevee down? No, you Burning Charge. Goodnight Streaks, dude. Match 1, 2, and 3. Cooked up, nice and easy. Played it casual. We kept our cool. And we're about to run through this last Flareon for the last attack of the game. 3-0 with Cynthia's Garchomp. You love to see it. Super fun deck. I think this build feels so clean, man. I mean, maybe an air balloon would be useful just to get out of the pivots on like your Roserades and stuff. We didn't see it in this game. But just an attach retreat works pretty well. gal. Prize cards taken, 3 matches wrapped up, nice and easy. Kept it simple in today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed the Garchomp deck. I think this deck is a ton of fun to play. Definitely worth a look. At the local scene, I think like challenge, maybe a League Cup could be pretty fun. I think definitely like there's ways we could build on the list to have a ton of fun with it at like a regional level, but this deck is like a competitive rogue deck for sure. I mean, it's got some teeth to it. It is a Garchomp card after all, so you know it's going to be pretty solid. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. With that being said, hope everyone's doing amazing. Stay epic. Peace.